Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning back in. We really appreciate it. Now today we've already changed our first street head. So here comes the video. I really hope you enjoy it. Here we go. My boss is just over there, over the way. On my first job, just staring at me, watching me. It's not off-putting, not in the slightest. Yeah, this is our first head replacement on a column. Never done one. Can't be that hard. And that's it down there. Apparently they had a box of them. This one wasn't replaced. They replaced all the ones in this car park, but this one they didn't replace because there's a load of BT cabling running overhead. These columns you can drop. So the idea is you have like a hydraulic ram which you fit here and you drop the column, but they can't drop it because of this cable going overhead. So hence they're using us to change the head on this column. So yeah, this is it. So it looks a lot bigger on the ground than it does in the air. So that's it. Sylvania Zodiac, 80 watts. Okay, and it's got a little photo cell on the top of it like that. God, it's a neat little photo. Remember the old days with streetlights? You had the ones you still see in domestic, the big ones you click in. These tiny little photo cells now. It's very neat. And those are your bolts there which you undo to change the angle of the head once it's on the column. There is a slight issue on this column actually. We can't drop the column to get to the cutout fuse, because normally I would just leave the power on. You have the service hatch on this side, and normally I would just pull the cutout fuse out and then you go up and do your thing. But we can't drop the column because the cables are overhead. So we've had to turn the power off at the fuse board, and we'll have to work it out once we're up there. But that's it, and it's a double insulated fitting. All you've got is a 2-core flex, just like that. That's it. It's only 80 watts, but that's all there is to it. Right, let me get my tools in the bucket and we'll continue this in the air. You get so caught up in your day-to-day life, you forget actually how far you've come, you know? I want that, right? I want that picture to be a symbol of hope. And I actually mean that. I want that to be a symbol that it can be done. I remember about 2 years ago on the channel when I said we were getting into street works and we wanted to get into commercial, we wanted to leave domestic, we wanted to get into road and rail. The amount of negativity I got, can't be done. It's ridiculous. The big boys have got that sewn up so tight, we'll never get in, yard, you know. We're doing it. Here we are, we're doing it. And I'm holding my first street light. The point is it can be done. I'm not saying it's an easy process, because it isn't. I've had many nights where I've not slept, you know, and there were many points along the way to get this far where I thought we wouldn't make it. But we're here, we're doing it. You just make it happen. I can't really explain it any other way, but I want that to be a symbol of hope. I swear to God, that's what I want, that it can be done, you know? It is possible. It's there if you want it. You just have to want it bad enough. This is my virginal lift. This is, I literally feel like a virgin for doing it for the first time. I've got a sneaking suspicion we've got to move the truck. Fucking gonna have to, aren't I? First schoolboy error. Nervous, isn't it? It's just nerves, you know? I don't mind. We're gonna make mistakes along the way, and we'll make many of them, you know? That's just part and parcel of this journey, but I don't mind. I will absolutely embrace it and just learn, and I'll just soak it up like a sponge as much as I can. My boss is back there having a good fucking laugh. Oh, he's got to move his truck now. But I literally don't care. I'm like a dog with two dicks, the fact we've managed to come this far. Right, let's go again. I don't care, you know. We've allowed a day for this, and it's an experience, you know. I don't mind. It's just learning. I'm excited, but I'm really nervous. We picked a beautiful day for it though, not a cloud in the sky. Well, there is, but it's beautiful, really nice. Nipex very kindly are sending me a selection of their tethered tools. So thank you, Nipex, it is very much appreciated. But in the time being, I'm just gonna have to go solo. Honestly, if you asked me to do a 3-year-old's math test now, I'd fail it. Yeah, so these are BT wires, these ones here. So there's no voltage on them as such. Right. This is isolated because we've played that game already. If a big spider comes out of here, I've got nowhere to run. Yeah, Nipex are sending me a selection of like their tethered range, so I am looking forward to that because I have dropped. It's easy done. It's easy to drop tools out the basket when you're working. I had visions of having to grind these bolts off, but actually they're coming out all right. I've got no idea how much this weighs. There we go. If you had any idea, if you could extract my blood now and take a sample of it, I think it would just be pure adrenaline. I don't know why, because, you know, we've practiced this many times. I am starting to get into this whole health and safety thing. It does take time. It is weird, like when you do domestic, and it sounds bad, but when you do domestic, it's not really, it's not that it's not an issue, it's just not as relevant, I guess. When we started getting into this, you get into more sort of heavier commercial stuff, it just becomes really important, and like I'm trying to soak it up like a sponge as much as I can. But it is a learning curve. You just, like I've been here 2 hours just getting set up and speaking to my boss here and stuff, and you just learn new stuff, you know. It is amazing. You just soak up stuff, especially if you're new to it like we are. So at the back of this fitting, you've got 2 latches. You just release those, and then the whole back of the fitting just lifts up, and this is normally the part where Harry and his 12 mates decide to come out and say hello. And I jump out of the basket and commit suicide. So that goes back like that, and that then gives you access to this. Let me pull down and back a bit, and that's it. So I don't know how much you can see or can't see, but basically what happens is you've got a flex, and it's just literally, it's a 3-core flex. Let me grab my screwdrivers. I need that Sortimo Pro click. I put it here. I need to put that Pro Click thing here. It's exactly where I need it there. But oh well. Just to scratch the old curiosity itch, I'm just gonna, I know this is dead because I saw it go off when I turned the breaker off, but just to scratch the itch, we're good. Okay, so all we do, I'll just disconnect these. 1, 2, 3. So that's our feed, which comes from the pillar underneath. So we'll just check the integrity of the flex. Sometimes you see columns running twin, and if you see that, you've got to take it out and put new flex. I've got a new drum of this flex in the van, but we don't need to replace that. That's good as gold. So now I just need a spanner, a socket, sorry. So undo that. Security fitting. Take that off, place in mouth. That's then good to remove. So that should like so. And that's basically the guts of the old fitting, that's it. And then to change the lamp, you would just twist that, take it out, put your lamp in, happy days. So anyway, let me get this on the ground. We'll get the new one up in the, I didn't bother bringing the new one because it's quite cramped in this bucket. Home, James, don't spare the horses.
Is that quite heavy?
Yeah, it's a fair weight to it. You wouldn't want to hold that at arm's length all day. Fuck it, Brian, let's just pack up and go home now, eh? The cable that comes with this, if I can balance it here to show you, the cable that comes with this is a factory cable. You can't replace it. It is just part of the fitting. So there's no real way of getting inside this to change the cable over. Now, because we can't drop this column for various reasons, my boss has allowed me to just Wago this together. One of the tricks I learned from another company over in West Wales, basically just get a piece of string with like a plumb bob on the end of it, just launch it down the pipe, drop it all the way to the bottom, and then you just use that string to drag in this new cable, because this cable is non-replaceable. But we can't do that here because we can't drop the column. So what we're gonna have to do is just Wago it in here, which I have been given express permission to do. I mean, just thinking aloud, actually, what you could do, you could actually undo those bolts there. If you undo those 8 bolts there, you could spin this around, and then I guess you could drop the column that way, but I have been given permission to do this, so this is what I'm doing. How much space have we got? There's loads of room in the back of that. That's cut now. Apparently, I was speaking to a street lighting company that does this day in, day out, and they were saying you can do up to 40 a day. I just don't see how that's possible. I really don't. So you basically got these 3 Allen bolts. So you undo them. Oh, if every day was like this, it'd be a good job. I wouldn't argue with this. Sun weather like this, it'd be beautiful. These are heavy, man. Right, next interesting problem. That pole is too small for that head, because you tighten these bolts up fully and you can still take the fitting off. Right, so we need longer bolts or some sort of packer. Okay, that can stay there for a second. It's not going to go anywhere. I think I might have some of those in the truck. Luckily, I bought a box of bolts in the van. So I've got some stainless bolts with me. Hopefully these will fit. That is just long enough. That is perfect. Now, how far to tighten these is a good question. Don't want to overdo it, but I think that's about right. Ain't no storm's going to take that off. The column will fall before that light gives out. See if my boss can power up. Can you turn it on just so I can test it? What a day. If this was a full-time job, I'd be happy man. Ain't now wrong with this. Of course, when it's pissing down with rain. Yo.
You ready?
Yep. We're good. Yep, lovely job.
Right, do you want to cover the photo cell on the top?
Yep. It might take it. I've got my hand over it, so it might take a minute.
But if it doesn't come on in a second, it means it's all on timer. Yeah, it's on timer.
Yeah. Well, it did come on, so yeah.
It works, which is the most important thing.
Fabulous.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. All right, see you in a moment. Right, mission accomplished. Oh, it's come back on now. That's my boss doing something in the switch room, I think. Well, it works. That's what matters. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Or just gentlemen, because I don't think women watch this. I've just been informed that 0.4% of my viewers are female. That's a few thousand. All right, I've just been informed it's a few hundred. Fabulous. All right, that is the end. We are there. That's our first one done and finished, one of many. So yeah, comments, thoughts, opinions, chuck it all below. Doesn't matter, good, bad, indifferent, put it all below. Thank you very much for watching. As usual, if there's anything you want us to do, anything you want us to look into, anything you'd like us to record or film, just chuck it all below. We take care to try and make an effort to listen. So thank you very much, and we will see you in a couple of days' time. Right, just before we go actually, that's the end of the day. So we've changed a couple of street lights now, and I'm just going to leave a picture on the screen of what my idea of the van was going to be like, of what I thought, you know, that's what I thought it would look like in a perfect world. Day one of real work. That's what it actually looks like.